everybody? Welcome back to another episode.
Sprites, Bytes, and Pixels.
Well, thanks for chiming in there, Wilson. You take the intro this time.
All right, everybody. Welcome back to Sprites, Bytes, and Pixels, episode number 666. The Side of the Devil. No, episode 6.
Yeah, awesome. So, welcome back. We've spoken about a variety of different topics. We have something really cool to chat about today. Something both Wilson and I can attest to. And
Very much
today's
so.
topic of discussion is why do people stop playing games, and when they take a break, why is it so difficult to get back in? Do people do it, or do people just end up just giving up and saying, I am done, I've had enough fun?
I think a lot of times that's what it is. I think people will they'll just stop. They'll never go back to that game because there's usually something better.
Yeah, I think it happens especially with so many new games coming out on an ongoing basis. It's difficult for you to just stick to one game, especially if it's like 80 hours, 100 hours, 120 hours.
And that's the thing, like like the newer games that we have now, they take a lot more time to complete. It's very simple now for me to put 60, 70 hours into a game. Like the most hours I've ever put into a game so far is like I think it was 130 hours, and that was with Breath of the Wild.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
That's a lot of time.
It was a huge game. Like I found a town, a new town, a place I'd never been before, like 110 hours into it.
Wow.
Like it's a lot. There was a lot to explore, and the puzzles were amazing, and yeah, like so. What I'm getting at is that it's very simple to put so much time into one game now, as opposed to what we had before with the retro games, Nintendo. Super
No, but I
Nintendo.
think they still had a lot of really deep games. Like for me, I love the PS1, I love the PS2. Used to play Final Fantasy all the time. So
Yeah,
Final
but-
Fantasy 7, 8, 9, 10. Pumped tons of hours into those games.
But that's more like grinding.
Grinding, but there's a lot of storyline too. It's like if you're playing Final Fantasy 7 and your characters are not leveled up enough, you don't have the right material, you can't beat Sephiroth.
Or if you're a slow reader.
I mean, yeah, that's an option as well.
Because I used to watch friends like play RPGs, and I'd be reading along with them as they were playing, and I'd be like, okay, you can go to the next one.
Yeah.
You can go to the next one.
Yeah.
And they'd still be reading, and that's when I realized, hey, I'm a pretty damn fast reader.
There you go. So when we're talking about our gaming experiences, maybe I can start with some games that I picked up, stopped playing, whether I got back into them or not. A couple stand out to me the most. I remember when Final Fantasy X came out. I fucking loved that game. It was so good. Loved the characters. Loved the gameplay. Loved the sports, Blitzball. I probably spent like 10, 20 hours just playing Blitzball.
You liked Blitzball?
You didn't like it?
Oh my god, dude. Like, Blitzball is probably one of the worst mini games.
I would
out
play
there.
Blitzball as like a regular game. It was I thought it was a lot of fun.
I know a lot of people that just hated the Blitzball portion.
Well, I loved it.
It's like, it was just kind of like the sports that had a bit of like, that's why it was a sports that had this like tactical strategy to it. And you, being a tactical strategy guy, loved it.
That's why.
That's why.
But in terms of the game itself, I do remember I think I took like a week off work to play it, and I got through to I forgot what part of the game I got to, but I think I got stuck on a puzzle and I couldn't beat it. And for some reason I wasn't checking game facts. I didn't look for any ways around it or anything like that. So I got frustrated. I stopped playing. I'm like, I'll give it a try when I'm not frustrated at the game again. That time never came around. Waited 2-3 months. Tried to get back into it, and I couldn't. So I went back and I started from the beginning. So I was like maybe 30-ish hours into it, and I'm like, screw this. I'm going to start completely fresh.
Ooh.
Yeah, same thing happened again, and I'm like, I can't continue doing this. It's just, it's not working for me. Because for me, it's difficult for me to get into a storyline after taking such a big, long break. It's not easy.
The funny thing is I've never actually played Final Fantasy X.
Oh.
Final Fantasy X,
It's
whatever.
actually really good. It's one of my favorites.
I've only beaten like Final Fantasy 7. I never beat Final Fantasy 8, got right to the end. Final Fantasy 9, never beat it, got right to the end. Never played Final Fantasy X, X2.
X2 was shit.
I know a few people that really dug it. It had a different gameplay style to it.
I didn't like the style.
Didn't have like a world. Well, it kind of had a world map, but you couldn't like explore it like you would like other games. Anyways, Final Fantasy X. It is a pretty big game, and it's a different way to play it as well. And the thing with RPGs is if there's a huge story and there's like plot twists and there's like just like convoluted different main ideas, when you're away from that, it takes a while to remember certain things. It's kind of like my wife when she watches TV shows. If we watch a season of a show and then next season comes around and she hasn't seen it, she'll be like, "Oh, what happened here? What happened here?" And I'll have to be like, "This, like, remember this person slept with this person's sister, and this person killed that person's dog," or just certain situations where you need kind of that reminder. And RPGs don't really give you that, especially when you've been gone for so long from that RPG. However, I'm playing Dragon Quest XI, and I hadn't played it for about 6 months. I stopped playing it, went to other games, got back to it recently. Dragon Quest XI does this really cool thing where every time you start up your file, it will give you a recap of what just happened.
I had no idea
it will give you a recap of what just happened and what your next step is. Also, if you go to your map, you're like, it wouldn't be your world map, but it'll be like your on-screen map. You tap a button and it will go to like a bigger part of your map, and it will show you like what your next goal is. So it gives you kind of those reminders, and that's really helpful. But there's not a lot of games that will do that for you. You won't get recaps.
Yeah, I think that's absolutely one thing that I feel as though is lacking as well. So it's a great example that you brought up with TV shows. So I love this show called Westworld. I think I watched season 1, season 2, and then season 3 came out. And by the time season 3 came out, I was completely lost in terms of what's happening.
I think it went in a whole different direction.
I haven't even seen season 3 yet.
I haven't either, but just from what I've seen, like from like the trailers and from like reviews and stuff, like it seems that it's lost its like original idea and gone somewhere completely different.
Well, I think that's a great point, because with complex ideas, it's tougher for you to just snap back right into it and start playing it. So if you're playing a game like a Final Fantasy or a Dragon's Quest, it's there's a lot of background that you want to keep fresh in your mind so you can keep progressing in the storyline, whether it's understanding how to beat a puzzle, whether it's understanding how to manage the battle system or the video game style. It's tough, especially with newer systems with PS4, whether it's like Ghost of Tsushima or you're playing Spider-Man or Horizon Zero Dawn
or Bloodborne, because that's what I've done before. I want to get back into Bloodborne, but because of the way the combat is and how you have to you kind of maneuver with the enemy and it's kind of like a dance. And if you forget how to do that, you will die very quickly. So I understand that whole having to get back into the controls and just if you play a certain game, this button right here, this could be attack. Mm-hmm. If you play another certain game, this button right here, that could be jump, or it could be use an item, or it could be something else. And sometimes it takes a while to get into that muscle memory of pressing the right button because you're thinking of a different game. I know a lot of people that do that as well.
Yeah, and I think when it comes to how people tend to game, and we're talking about casual gamers, people that don't game as part of their life, they're not esports competitive players, or they're not Twitch streamers. We're just talking about people that maybe love gaming, but they do it maybe an hour a day, maybe a few hours a week. Mm-hmm. So if you're playing these story-driven games, and let's say you come home from work, you play for maybe an hour a day, it's tougher for you to really get immersed and really into it. Whereas with other games like Fortnite, Call of Duty, sports titles, it's very easy for you to be in and out.
And they're made that way. They're made for it to be a kind of more user-friendly approach.
Yeah, and I think when you take a look at gaming as a whole, why do people do it? I think there's two key, at least in my eyes, there's two key reasons. One is it's a great way to escape from the stress of life.
Your beautiful eyes.
Thanks. That's a great way to escape from my beautiful eyes. And then the second reason is it's just something that's mind-numbing. If you come home from a stressful day at the office and you just want to do something to take your mind off of things, you play some Fortnite, you play some Call of Duty, you shoot some people and you feel a little bit better. But if you're coming home from a stressful days of work, do you really want to go into a a very intricate, very complex game where you have to put together all of these complex ideas and these complex battle systems and play that and maybe progress only 1 or 2% in a storyline.
Exactly. You just kind of want that pick up and play approach with a game. And it's the same reason, like, you know, the Wii was very successful because it was just like a pick up and play approach, like Wii Sports. This is how you do it. You go like this. That's it. That's it. You go like this. You're not pressing this button to dodge. You're not pressing this button to call your team. You're not pressing this button to attack. Like, it's just this. And that's kind of like what these games do. They're a little bit easier for you to figure out.
So, Wilson, have you ever, like, I know you're playing Dragon Quest, you've taken a break and you've come back, but has there been a case or an instance where you have picked up a game, you've played it, you enjoyed the game, it's not that you didn't enjoy the game, you enjoyed the game, you took a break, but you just weren't able to get back into it?
There's tons of games that I do that with, and my problem is that I have this terrible habit. I know I'm not the only one. I've talked to a lot of people who do this. You play a game, you get right to the end of it, like the boss is like right there, or the last area is right there, and you just stop. And I don't know why I do it, but I always seem to do it. It's like maybe because I feel like I'm going to stress myself out, like getting through that last area, or I don't want to say I'm not having fun, but maybe it's just, it's gone to a point where it's like, it's too much. Or a lot of times, like with Final Fantasy 12, I got right to the end, but then I wanted to like do all the side quests. So I started doing all the side quests and stopped with that. So yeah, there's a bunch of games like Bloodborne, like I said. I'm stupid far in that game. I'm like in the forest now. I beat the witch. I think I'm about to fight a spider. Blah 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 blah. But like Final Fantasy or Dragon Quest 11, I've put like 65 hours into that game, and I think before I got back into it, I put like 50 hours. And I've learned that like there's way more, but I'm really looking forward to it. Like I'm glad I got back into it.
Yeah.
So yes, a lot of times it's like these huge games that demand a lot of time that I just kind of stop playing. And a lot of times it's because like there's another game that I really want to play, and I think that's one of my main reasons why I do this, because I see this one game that I really want to try now, and I move away from it. But I just never get back into the other one, even though I always tell myself, hey, I'm going to eventually play you again.
Spoken like a true player.
Need water.
So I agree with your points. For me, I guess maybe it's about something else popping up. But for me, I would just say I get bored really easily sometimes. So if the game is not progressing at the pace that I want it to progress, I get bored and I'm like, I just want to try something else.
What was the last game that did that to you?
Horizon Zero Dawn.
But how can you get bored with that?
I don't know.
You can't get bored with that.
I got bored with Horizon Zero Dawn, it's true. As soon as I posted that on the Facebook group, I remember Juan was ripping me. Then you chimed in because I know it's one of your favorite games of all time.
It became one of my favorite games for any console of all time. Yeah, it's so good. The story is really good. The gameplay is fun. There's so many different things to find. The combat, it's beautiful. And I haven't even played like on the I haven't played on like a 4K television. I've just played on like my regular HD, and I still found it gorgeous. But I know like you can get like a better vision of it.
Yeah, I mean like that's what happened with me, unfortunately. So what I tend to go through is like phases when I'm gaming. Do I want to go into a complex like story-driven game, or do I just want to pick up like Fortnite or Call of Duty or MLB The Show and just play through those? So,
but you went to Spider-Man.
I know, and I went to Spider-Man. I loved it. Spider-Man was amazing, and I couldn't stop. Like, Spider-Man to me is not just a game, it's almost like a mini movie, because there's so many different cutscenes, and I know Horizon has that as well.
Yes,
but for
that's
me,
what I'm saying.
I like Spider-Man because it was like, I liked the web slinging, I liked having the ability to use all of these different weapons, and all this other stuff.
Also, Spider-Man, like, you can do a better traversal, like, around the world. Horizon, you kind of have these different areas that you have to kind of, like, follow these different paths. Spider-Man, you know, you can just, hey, I want to go to the top of that building.
Yeah.
You know, like...
Exactly. Same with Ghost of Tsushima, like, I love that game. I can't stop playing it.
You are killing me.
And I almost got to a point where I was getting frustrated with Ghost of Tsushima as well because I always play games on hard. I don't like playing them anything less than that. And
Which was in one of our other episodes, by the way.
So I'm on the end of Act 3 where I'm fighting one of the final bosses, and without giving anything away, this guy is insane. So if you don't understand how his attack system is, you're gonna keep getting destroyed. So I got destroyed 3 or 4 times, and I got frustrated because I couldn't figure it out on how to beat him. So I took a few days break, and I did something I never normally do, and that is go to YouTube and be like, how do I beat this guy? And I had to do it, but I finally beat him. And then I realized there's more of the storyline left, so I'm excited. Thanks.
All by yourself.
I know. I'm pretty much a Twitch streamer now. That's my level of gameplay.
Is that what it is?
I'm a pro.
Are you?
Yeah, if people want to subscribe and send me $2 per minute of gameplay watching, I would greatly appreciate it.
Is that how it works? $2 per minute?
I don't know, man. I don't know. We gotta ask Jay. Jay's ripping it.
Oh, Jay. Oh, man.
Yeah. But yeah, that's kind of my thought process when it comes to leaving games and coming back. Yeah, was there anything else you wanted to add there?
I'm just going on what you just said. So, Ghost of Tsushima.
Yes.
Oh, God, that's all I can think of now. Ghost of Tsushima.
Well, you still haven't gotten it.
Like I said before, I really, really want to play it, but I'm just being patient, waiting patiently, hoping that, we'll get some DLC and then I'll pick up a complete version and play that game. But hell, I just hope I complete Dragon Quest XI before I get Ghost of Tsushima.
There you go.
That's another thing I'll do. If I'm really, really, really wanting to play a game, that's when I stop playing the other game. Ghost of Tsushima, I've been wanting to play it since I first saw it, years and years ago. So if it came out, there's a good chance that I would put down Dragon Quest XI, despite how much fun I'm having with it. And it's also very, it's a little bit more forgiving. I don't see Dragon Quest XI as a hard game.
Tsushima is not that hard either.
But you just said, you're playing
I'm on the final. But I'm on one of the final bosses. That's why. But other than that, I never die.
So, and the funny thing is that you're almost at one of the final bosses, and you're sticking with it. You don't have that same mindset that I do.
Which is what?
Well, like I said earlier, where I kind of push myself away from the game when I'm almost done completing it. Yeah. I'm getting better with that, by the way. I've beaten Control. I've beaten Wonder Song. I've beaten some big games, and I've beaten some small games, and I didn't really stop playing them. I actually beat them to completion, and I'm very proud of myself about that.
Nicely done, Wilson.
Thank you. Yeah, see, I get claps. Yeah. I get claps.
There you go. Just don't get the clap.
Oh, no. Yeah. Don't get the clap.
Yeah. But get claps. All right. That's it from my side. Do you have anything else?
You know what? I don't think I do. Do you think there are any other reasons why people stop playing these games?
I think difficulty, boredom, options. There's the one thing that I look at is when we were younger, we didn't have as much disposable income, so we had to play what we had to play. We didn't really have the option of going out and just buying other stuff. And back then, websites like eBay and Kijiji were not as prevalent, so you had to go into the game store and buy games. And nowadays, you can pick up lots through Kijiji, through eBay, so you're not just buying one game at a time. Sometimes you buy multiples. So you have access to more, and I feel as though with the growing as gamers tend to age, they're entering this area or this time in their life where they have more disposable income. They don't need to play a game that they don't really want to. They have the option of just going out and buying other stuff. And
there's also the fact that we have all these new online services, right? Yeah. And they're a little bit more forgiving for people too. Or I shouldn't say forgiving, they're more generous. PlayStation Plus, you're guaranteed 2 games. They're not always
free games.
Well, I would say free. You have to pay for the subscription service.
That's true.
But you're not paying for those games. You're paying for a subscription service that offers you games as well.
And they have really good games too. They had Last of Us Remastered came out. Mm-hmm. Uncharted 4, I think, was on it. There was Fall Guys, which is another quick pickup game. So a lot of really cool stuff.
Between my Dragon Quest XI stopping and getting back into it, I played Darksiders 3 to completion, and I don't even have a physical of that. I played that digitally on PlayStation Plus. So there are there are other ways to get a more substantial library. Not like we had before.
Yeah.
You know, where like Rob says, you can only play one game for a bit before you finally get another game, because games were a little bit more pricey when you're a kid, obviously. Like, you know, I think I didn't get an allowance for a while, and hell, $5 was so exciting for me. I remember when I was a kid and I got $50, I thought I was rich. I was like, oh my god, I'm gonna buy so much.
Yeah.
And I don't remember, I think I bought like a couple water guns or a super soaker or something like that, and yeah, I was pretty excited with that. But yeah, like now we just have all these other services. Or Xbox, for instance, the Xbox Game Pass.
Yeah.
That's really, really good. And you're guaranteed to play an Xbox launch title on that, like on the first day of the release. You're guaranteed to be able to play that digitally, not physically, but digitally is fine too. And so yeah, there's that's another reason why people would stop playing one thing to play another, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, boredom, attention spans.
Yeah.
All those, they kind of all come into the same kind of world.
Yeah. No, I agree with that. Sweet. So I guess we will leave it there. We've hit our magic number of 21 minutes. So
that's the magic number?
Well, I mean, like it was 30 minutes last time. Typically, we try to go for 25 minutes. So if we balance it out, we're around 25 minutes for each episode.
Is Jordan 21? What was Jordan's number?
I don't know.
Really? Oh, I thought you were a basketball dude.
No, baseball.
Oh, we're gonna get so much hate.
But yeah, I appreciate you guys joining us once more, and we will see you guys next time on episode 7.
That's right.
Yeah.
Lucky number 7.
We're gonna talk about some fun stuff there.
That's Jordan's number, right?
I don't know.
Spub up.
Peace. Bye.